What actually transpired between Bambi and Lil Scrappy behind closed doors? And did a furious dispute go too far? After unsettling information about an intense altercation between the two started to circulate, the reality TV industry is in a frenzy. The story's transcript claims that what had begun as domestic conflict became into a terrifying altercation that included yelling, accusations, rage, and a moment that left Bambi frightened. However, we must keep one crucial aspect apart from the headline. Neither Bambi's hospitalization nor Scrappy's violent assault are confirmed by the provided transcript. What it does describe is a relationship that is becoming more and more unstable, a terrifying episode in which Scrappy hits a wall, Bambi taking their daughter and locking herself away, and the fallout that allegedly prompted her to consult a lawyer. The story isn't just about one argument, therefore that distinction is important. It concerns the alleged months-long escalation of hostility between two individuals who were already having communication difficulties. According to reports, Bambi thought Scrappy was growing emotionally distant. She wondered where he was spending his time and thought that someone or something was diverting his focus from the family. Scrappy, on the other hand, reportedly complained that he was always being questioned and that he was sick of having to tread carefully in his own house. The night that everything boiled over then arrived. According to the transcript, Bambi waited for Scrappy after spending the majority of the day away. When she asked him where he had been, his response that he had been with friends didn't seem to satisfy her. There were reportedly raised voices. Neighbors reported hearing shouting from within the house as the dispute grew more heated. Then came the moment that supposedly drastically altered the mood. The provided account claims that Scrappy just missed a framed wedding photo when he banged his palm on a wall during the altercation. Bambi supposedly winced. Although he did not touch her, the transcript characterizes the setting as hostile, intimidating, and terrifying. An already stressful situation was further complicated when their daughter allegedly woke up crying. What then transpired? Why, according to reports, did Bambi go the following morning without saying farewell? Why did the two apparently stop following each other? Why did a mysterious social media post cause people to start speculating? Most crucially, why did Bambi allegedly need legal counsel because the situation had gotten so bad? We're dissecting the whole narrative tonight, just as it appears in the provided transcript. The strain in the relationship, the conflict, the opposing viewpoints, the response from the family, the fallout, and the question that everyone is asking. Was this the last straw for Bambi and Lil Scrappy? Now let's get started. The relationship was already under a great deal of strain prior to the claimed altercation. Lil Scrappy and Bambi have been going through a difficult time for months, according to the transcript that was provided. Fans may have only seen a portion of the scenario from the outside, but behind closed doors, the issues were apparently getting more difficult to overlook. Trust seems to be the main problem. According to reports, Bambi sensed that Scrappy was growing more aloof. She thought he was spending too much time away from home and was emotionally unavailable. She allegedly had a lot of questions after that hiatus. He was heading where? With whom was he hanging out? Why did he appear to be less a part of the family? According to the transcript, Bambi had a suspicion that someone or something was diverting Scrappy's attention. But Scrappy reportedly had a very different perspective on the matter. He supposedly believed that Bambi was questioning him all the time instead of thinking he was to blame for the growing gap. Scrappy felt like he was constantly treading carefully in his own house, according to the story that was provided. Because it started a cycle, that disparity in perception is significant. Bambi sought explanations. Scrappy desired room. According to reports, Bambi used his distance as an excuse to probe further. According to reports, Scrappy perceived those inquiries as just another source of annoyance, and finally the cycle reached a breaking point. According to the provided transcript, their relationship had been developing for months and was described as a pressure cooker. According to the story, neither side appeared to be able to address the fundamental problems before another argument increased the strain. The night that supposedly altered everything then arrived. It was said that Scrappy had been absent for most of the day. Bambi was waiting for him when he got home. The scene is described in the transcript as tense right from the start. According to reports, Bambi was standing with her arms crossed and a chilly attitude. She asked him right away where he had been. According to reports, Scrappy nonchalantly replied that he had been with pals. However, Bambi apparently wasn't persuaded, and that's when the mood shifted. It is said that what could have been a casual talk turned into an argument. The voices became more audible. The emotional temperature increased. Additionally, neighbors apparently heard shouting coming from inside the residence, according to the transcript that was provided. There was more to the purported disagreement than that specific night. It stood for everything that seemed to have been developing beneath the surface. According to reports, Bambi felt degraded. According to reports, Scrappy felt guilty. And it was said that both had emotional baggage from months of unsolved issues. Bambi allegedly informed Scrappy that he no longer respected her and cared about the family, according to the transcript. In response, Scrappy apparently accused her of often expecting the worst. He allegedly complained that she was always checking his phone and asking him where he was going. This was more than just a dispute about where someone had been at that point. According to reports, it was a dispute over commitment, trust, privacy, family, and if each party still thought the relationship could be saved. Then, it is said, the situation grew increasingly terrifying. According to the provided transcript, Scrappy nearly missed a framed picture from their wedding day as he banged his fist against the wall in rage. Although the transcript explicitly states that he did not touch Bambi, the mood was described as violent and intimidating, and Bambi apparently trembled. This distinction is crucial. The provided source does not prove that Scrappy physically attacked Bambi, but it does describe an intimidating occurrence. The transcript itself presents a different and more complex picture, despite the headline's considerably stronger assertion. When their kid, who had been sleeping in a different room, woke up wailing, the argument apparently got even more heated. Scrappy supposedly paced the house, grumbling to himself and looking overwhelmed, while Bambi hurried to console the infant. The pair was not the only ones impacted by the disagreement at that point. According to the transcript, friends and family started trying to step in when their family was caught in the midst, but the emotional harm had already been done. According to reports, Bambi's close pal noticed that something wasn't right earlier that day. According to the acquaintance, Bambi wasn't herself that evening and was emotionally spent. The fact that the confrontation wasn't purportedly unexpected adds another level of complexity to the narrative. According to reports, the fight ultimately erupted after months of emotional pressure, and there was no simple way to put things back together. The focal point of the given narrative was the night of the conflict. The transcript claims that Bambi had been waiting for Scrappy to come home after spending the majority of the day out. It seemed like she was already very frustrated. She asked him when he got there. Bambi supposedly didn't accept his answer that he had been with pals. The argument soon became more heated. According to the transcript, the dispute escalated into what was essentially a yelling match. There have reportedly been reports of shouting coming from the house. The purported conversation demonstrated the severity of their issues. According to reports, Bambi accused Scrappy of disrespecting her. She reportedly asked if he was still concerned about their family. According to reports, Scrappy retaliated that she was always thinking he was doing something incorrectly. He reportedly said that he was unable to breathe without her examining his phone or questioning him. This was no longer communication. Two individuals were protecting themselves. Every phrase allegedly turned into another spark once both sides adopted that defensive stance. According to the transcript, after Scrappy banged his palm against a wall, the altercation took a more sinister turn. Bambi is said to have been scared at that moment. Once more, the provided transcript states that although he did not physically touch her, Bambi apparently shuddered as a result of his aggressive behavior. Sometimes a physical attack is not necessary for someone to feel threatened in a relationship. The environment is described in the transcript as explosive, heavy, confrontational, and terrifying. The infant then awoke. According to reports, their daughter started weeping, which made Bambi turn her focus from the fight to consoling her. The altercation is said to have concluded at that point for the evening. Bambi apparently locked herself in the bedroom after stealing their daughter. It is said that Scrappy slept on the couch. The shouting had ceased, But the actual struggle was far from ended. Scrappy remained angry and emotionally exhausted. The house reportedly became quiet, but the resentment remained, the transcript states. Since both parties had time to comprehend what had transpired, the silence might have been even more potent than the yelling. According to reports, Bambi had to consider what she had just seen. According to reports, Scrappy had to face the reality that the relationship had become even more dysfunctional. Bambi allegedly made a decision the following morning. She departed. The transcript states that she departed without saying anything, leaving no message or explanation, and apparently not returning Scrappy's calls or texts. Scrappy supposedly thought she was just cooling off at first. According to reports, he persuaded himself that she would come back after her feelings subsided. However, the hours went by, followed by a day and another, and it is said that Bambi never returned. At that point, it became hard to overlook how bad the situation was. According to the transcript, the two eventually stopped following one another on social media. After that, Bambi allegedly posted an ambiguous message. Letting go is sometimes the bravest thing you can do. Fans apparently went crazy over that one message. People started making connections right away. Had they broken up? Was Bambi finished at last? Was the disagreement the last straw? And what precisely had transpired within that house? As is common, the internet started to fill in the blanks. According to reports, blogs started posting headlines implying that the relationship had terminated due to the disagreement. Supporters started picking sides. Scrappy was allegedly protected by several. Some admirers said they had already seen indications that the relationship was having problems, while others supported Bambi. However, the transcript claims that the public was still unaware of the entire situation. Only the aftermath was visible to them on the internet. It was said that the true emotional harm had occurred behind closed doors, and that was just the start. Another problem surfaced once the confrontation was made public. According to reports, there was disagreement among those close to Lil Scrappy and Bambi about what had transpired. This disagreement added to the complexity of the situation. After Bambi left, Scrappy was allegedly going through mental turmoil, according to the provided transcript. He was supposedly more than just furious. He was wounded. According to reports, he felt deceived and thought that all they had created together was disappearing. According to the transcript, Scrappy told a friend that he hardly recognized the relationship anymore. He allegedly defined their connection as ride or die and recalled a period when they were steady. However, he apparently thought that Bambi was now viewing him as an adversary. That viewpoint is important because it demonstrates how the two individuals purportedly saw the same relationship in different ways. According to reports, Scrappy thought Bambi had changed. He attributed some of that shift to her work and the demands of celebrity, according to the account. People close to Bambi apparently offered an entirely different rationale for his alleged perception that she had grown colder and less forgiving. They asserted that Bambi had been attempting to mend the relationship for months. She had allegedly begged Scrappy to think about therapy, according to the transcript. It was said that she asked him to slow down. She desired for him to confide in her. Those close to her claim that Scrappy refused to communicate with her when she asked. There are now two opposing stories. According to one side, Bambi's growing suspicion and demands were the reason the relationship was failing. The other claims that although Scrappy refused to deal with the more serious issues, Bambi had been attempting to mend the relationship. The reality of a relationship that had evidently reached emotional exhaustion was somewhere in between those two viewpoints. The families then allegedly got involved. It is said that Bambi's mother encouraged her daughter. She had never fully trusted Scrappy, according to the transcript. She reportedly told the family in private that she had cautioned Bambi because she thought his disposition was too erratic. However, Scrappy's relatives apparently had a different perspective. They supposedly thought Bambi was exaggerating. They allegedly stressed that Scrappy had never touched her physically and characterized him as irritated rather than violent. The transcript does not prove that Bambi was physically attacked, therefore this is where the story becomes particularly delicate. Scrappy is said to have struck a wall during an enraged altercation. Additionally, it states that he did not touch her. As a result, The headline's assertion of a violent assault and hospitalization goes beyond what the cited source truly proves. That does not negate the importance of the conflict. On the contrary, a terrifying home dispute might nevertheless have detrimental effects even in the absence of the particular incidents that a headline claims. According to reports, this story had significant emotional repercussions. The transcript claims that friends made an unsuccessful attempt to reconcile the marriage by encouraging them to speak. Bambi was apparently crying as Scrappy was yelling, according to one friend. According to the acquaintance, the two seemed to be speaking separate languages. The breakdown is nicely captured in that picture. Apparently, one person was requesting to be understood. According to reports, the other was requesting to be trusted. They didn't feel heard, and the gap grew wider the more they attempted to justify themselves. Scrappy is said to have eventually started spending more time outside the house. According to the transcript, he partied harder and remained out later in an apparent attempt to get away from the relationship trouble, but even outside the house, he was unable to fully avoid the questions. He was apparently questioned about Bambi. People apparently wanted to know if things were going well between them at clubs. According to reports, he grinned, shrugged, and continued. However, the transcript indicates that he was not at all well. He was apparently disintegrating behind the scenes, while Bambi was purportedly acting independently. According to the transcript, she had started seeking legal counsel. The fact that she was apparently seeking legal counsel indicated that the problem had escalated beyond a straightforward relationship dispute, even if she had allegedly not filed anything at that point. The stakes were altered by that development, because it was no longer just a question of whether two people would make amends. It concerned whether the relationship had gotten to the point where outside help was required. Fans started responding in entirely unexpected ways as word of the purported altercation spread. As soon as they saw the circumstances, some individuals took Bambi's side. Some only wanted to know what had actually happened, while others supported Scrappy. The issue was that bits of a private connection were being presented to the public. Posts were made on social media. Reports from purported insiders were made. Although there were conflicting accounts from those close to the couple, there was no comprehensive public narrative that addressed every query. Speculation developed from that void. According to reports, fans saw that Bambi and Scrappy had unfollowed each other. Then Bambi sent a mysterious message about letting go. That was sufficient for a lot of viewers to conclude that the relationship was ended. However, a social media message is not a comprehensive explanation. What transpired in a private room is not disclosed. It doesn't provide a detailed account of what each individual stated, and it doesn't independently verify allegations of physical violence or hospitalization. Instead, the provided transcript concentrates on the emotional fallout. According to reports, Bambi left the house. Scrappy reportedly got more and more upset. According to reports, their families adopted different stances. Allegedly, friends attempted to step in, and it seemed as though a major breakup was imminent. The public's response was expected. There have supposedly been warning signs for a long time, according to some enthusiasts. Some thought the couple just needed some space. Scrappy was blamed by some. Bambi was accused by others of exacerbating the situation through persistent interrogation and suspicion.